Good morning. Yeah, that's not me. I'm still sick and I need a shower and all. I'm sure my voice sounds awful. Um, Hi. Anyway, I just wanted to show you. Um, I went to my kid's school to pick him up the other day, and it was just such an odd drive. It's only like 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back. And I saw next to the school, this is pretty cool. Here, let's see. There, yeah, look at that. Look at that, guys. Yeah, look at that. I know who lives at this house. Um, it's an ex-landlord, and he painted this himself, or maybe his wife did. She's pretty crafty. Um, but anyway, I drove past the house and I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to show that to you guys. And so then this house was next to the school, and I saw two herds of these little deer. And the only really unusual thing is I see a lot of these guys this year, and it's kind of strange for this time of the year, and they're not as fully grown as they should be. And I saw two little herds. There's like 5 or 6 in a herd when they're young like that. So I saw those deer, and then on the way there, and then on the way back I saw some other deer at a different place. I didn't film those. And I saw these turkeys, and this is what happened when I tried to film the turkeys. So yeah. And then I have like 3 minutes of me arguing with my son. So I'll try to get the turkeys. I see the turkeys every day. They're pretty cool. They're nice big turkeys. If you didn't hear that in one of my other videos, sometimes they're nesting next to my house, which is kind of strange. And then there's the doves that are always been around this house or around this neighborhood. And I don't know, it's not like excessively odd animal behavior, but I think the main thing that I'm noticing with these deer is they're not the right size. Like, they should be a little bigger. And the turkeys with nesting next to my house, which is a little odd. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys those things. So we'll put up my flag picture. I'd kind of like to put this on my YouTube channel, but I guess I could. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't want to be invading anyone's privacy, but I like this. Pretty cool looking. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. So let's see. Let me think here just a minute. I'm making my list. Oh, okay. So we'll talk about my ex-job that I don't have anymore at the church. So, you guys know I've been sick. It started out with the flu. I don't know, something going on with my lungs, and the last couple of years, whenever I get sick, I almost started to think of it as sick in quotations, like it's a body change. And so Mandela affected, talking about changes to the lungs, and that makes sense to me because, yeah, my lungs feel strange and they feel smaller, and I'm just hacking up a lot of phlegm. I have a lot of phlegm in my sinuses, and it's, it's like when I first shifted, I had all this pain in my kidney. Now I know it was my kidney. But, I had pain in my back, and I thought, because of my knowledge of human anatomy, that was a muscle pain, so I went to take a hot bath to relax that pain. I thought I pulled a muscle back there. Well, it got worse and worse, and I finally had to call my sister, and she took me to the emergency room. And I just wanted to go to the doctor still because I thought it was a muscle pain, and she's like, "No," she says, it's your kidney. It's your kidney. I'm like, "No, I'm arguing with her. I'm in this horrible, intense pain on the way to the hospital, and I was arguing with her over where the kidney is located, and she even just gave up trying to convince me that it was that the pain that I was feeling was my kidney. When I got to the hospital, and the woman that checked me into the emergency room, just the way I was standing there, she's like, "Oh, your kidney," So anyway, I went to a lot of doctors over that, ended up with a lot of debt, and they never could figure out what was going on there, and eventually it just got better all on its own. I never had any stones or any blood in my urine, so I guess what I'm getting at is when I feel all crappy last couple of years, I tend to think that it's more Mandela affected symptom, and I do feel like I've been shifting. So this last few days when I'm shifting, how it'll drain you, and you feel all this vertigo, at least I do, and then you feel drained and fatigued. Well, I've got a lot of energy this time, so I'm feeling the shift, but I actually am starting to feel like it's giving me a little energy these last couple of days when I shift. So that's just a little different. I don't know if it'll continue that way or if it means anything, or maybe I have a fever. I really don't know. So anyway, I've been sick. I've been off work, and the old secretary, I called her and asked her if she could go in and kind of help the pastor out because she's really active in the church. When she left the secretary's job, it's almost like she moved up to some kind of other position. I don't understand. I mean, I've only been there since May, and they're Protestant, and I've never been part of any sort of any congregation or any denomination, and I really don't understand all these denominational. I'm sorry, my voice is so messed up. I really don't understand all these denominational things, or whatever. So I don't understand why there are holy grails with upside down crosses in them all over the place. And, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to share kind of a weird incident, or just talk a little more about this, because when I was still working there, I'll talk to you about why I'm not working there in a minute. But when I still was there, I had a weird incident where the pastor was explaining to me how he wanted the new schedule done for the deacons and the elders, and the worship leaders. And so I'm standing at my bulletin board that I have up there, and he's explaining it to me, and I'm making notes on the old schedule, and he's explaining to me this one little old lady where he wants her, and when. And she's really active, this one little old lady. She's 80, and she goes to both services, so that tells you how this woman's dedicated. So I go to make a check mark next to her name on the old schedule, and he's talking. He's standing right there, just yakety yak 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 yak. And I go to make a check mark next to this woman's name, and I made a star, and then and he keeps talking, and I circle it. And he literally stopped talking and took a step back because I made a pentagram next to this lady's name. And then I mean, obviously that's not the usual way that I would go to check mark off somebody's name on a schedule. It was just very odd. It was almost like something else drew the little pentagram there next to that person's name. I don't know, but it gave me the willies. It did. It did. It gave me the willies. Another time I asked the pastor, this was before Thanksgiving, I just kind of go, well, hey, is Thanksgiving on the third Thursday or the fourth Thursday? Because I'm confused. And he goes, it's on the third Thursday. So I went back in, my desk, and then I went and looked at the calendar, and it was still said, I knew it still said fourth Thursday. And I thought, oh, that's weird, So I went back in and I said, hey, is it some kind of different this year that it's the fourth Thursday? Do you know anything about that? And he goes, it's always the fourth Thursday. And I said, but didn't you just say it was the third? And he goes, yeah. And then he goes, no, like that. So then a little bit later that same day, he brought me some paperwork to do and some stuff that he wanted me to change. And he said, oh, since you brought up the changes, I have some things I need you to change. That was his conversation opener walking into my office. So this guy, when our bulletins changed on my computer templates, he didn't seem to be aware of it. He just read the Lord's Prayer two different ways. One way for first service with trespasses, and then one way, and I can't remember how they went. You'll have to look back at my videos, but I don't know. But I've been sick, and the secretary was doing my work, old secretary. When I started there, and she started doing whatever this other position is with the church, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what she does. She's doing things all the time. I don't know. Anyway, she posted she got a new tattoo right when I started, and she posted it on the church's Facebook. It was a heart, and it had roses going around the heart on both sides with thorns piercing the heart, and all this blood dripping down, and then a big dagger going through the center of the heart, and then the number 13 above the dagger. And other church members, some of them posted, what's number 13 for? What's number 13 for? And she posted, that's private. So, I don't know, Anyway, he showed up to my house, the pastor did, when I was sick a couple of days ago, 6 o'clock, something like that, at night. I'm home by myself because I'm sick. The kids went over to their dad. They just got sick of me being sick, I guess. And their dad only lives a few blocks away. So my kids are middle schoolers, and we do have a visitation schedule, but it's you can't, and it's good for them. So they just go back and forth when they want. Anyway, the kids are gone, and I'm sitting at home, and I hear the bang, 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 bang. And I don't know, some of you probably know what that is. Cops, right? Bang, 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 bang. They don't stop. You know a cop knock. So I go to the door, and I open the door, and lo and behold, it's not a cop, it's my boss. And I'm like, well, hello. And he says, well, I just thought I'd stop by And at this point, you guys understand, I'm sick. My dog has had an accident next to the front door. I cleaned it up as best I could, but it's still kind of smelly because I need to run the steam cleaner. And I was all smoky smelling. So he like took out his little delicate little handkerchief and put it up to his nose like he couldn't take the smell of my house. I didn't let him in the door, you know. And I said, well, didn't the other secretary, she went in and did what I asked her to, right? And he's like, well, yeah. And I was like, well, so she told you I was sick. Well, yeah. And I said, well, I've been Facebooking her every day. So I just assumed, well, yeah, but you need to send me an email because it's more like official, like you need to contact your boss directly, he says. Oh, okay. I said, I'll send you an email, And at this point, I'm already thinking, when I heard that bang, 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 and I opened that door and it wasn't him and he wasn't a cop, I was done with that job right then and there. But I actually haven't said anything to him, and I told him I'd send him an email on Monday. He goes, well, I thought I'd just stop by, and he's like, well, I need some stuff done. Like that. And I gave him a look from what, because how rude, really. I don't know what any of that was about. Really, what was the point of that? But no phone call, uninvited. I've never invited him to just stop by my house. I'm not even a member of the congregation. And he pays me like a minimum wage. I'm on a salary, but it's like minimum wage. I mean, it's bull crap. So anyway, I'm not going back, and I feel much better about that. And after I made that decision, I just thought, what am I thinking? Because I have a business license. I have a DBA, doing business as. I have a tax ID. I have a really fancy, nice computer. They invested $1,000 in it, sitting in the kitchen, that I never use, supposed to be for business. And after I thought, that night, I just thought, oh, my gosh, like I don't need that job, because I have the business license, I have the computer, so that's one thing. I have the business plan. I'll post my link. I worked on my website. I got that all fancied up. Piece of cake. I can do this. And then the other thing, for money before, until I get a customer, and I can't believe I didn't think of this, but I used to have a cleaning business years ago, and it was just me. And that's really good money. That's really good money, and it's really easy to get referrals. And I quit doing it because my knees and my wrists hurt so bad. But now I have the new bones in the wrists, and they're really sturdy. And I'm cleaning my house, and it's like, yeah, man, and my knees are awesome. I could run. I ran a race with my 11-year-old. And it was awesome. Like, your knees are awesome now, guys. If you haven't tried to run, go ahead and try it. It's really, Oh, I have a cough. Okay, so sorry about that. So then I'm coming to all sorts of realizations, I guess, or I don't know what you would even call it, but I'm sorry. One of them that I was thinking about a job is all of us getting up with an alarm clock in the morning. And one morning when the alarm clock went off, I woke up, and my first thought was, I don't want to do this ritual anymore. And it was odd because I thought of it in that way, that it's a ritual. And it is. And it's a tiny little torture ritual is what it is, you guys. and it robs us all of our natural sleep cycle. And the worst thing about that is that we're doing it to all the kids. All the kids, think about this, 5 days a week, all the kids are deprived every morning of their natural sleep, last part of their natural sleep cycle. And I started to wonder, like, what does that do to a human? As far as the brain development, as far as body development, as far as health-wise, because it could have a subtle effect that could be something like, that we wouldn't see, that could be something like shortened lifespan. So I just think the way that it's set up, this ritual of getting up in the morning, of not finishing your natural sleep cycle, it's just the way the system works. There are all these little things like that they're rituals. They're rituals. They're tiny little torture rituals to drag you down and weigh you down and make things hard for you. So anyway, I put an ad out for cleaning, and I can really sure that I can get work doing that. And I can make double the money in half the time. I don't know why I was even working at that church, to be honest. All said and done, when I weigh time factor versus finances, I'm just losing money being there. So, that's where they want me. They don't want me to be independent. And I was thinking about becoming independent, and I was starting to have some behaviors towards that, which is, I think, why my boss showed up at my house. Because you don't knock on somebody's door like a cop. That is nothing more than an intimidation tactic. He didn't need to see me that desperately. Okay, so anyway, there's that, like Richie says. Now we're all going to start saying it. It's a good way to end your sentence. So there's that. So then, in my town, there's a new house. Like, one of the streets have gotten wider. It's almost like they could put another lane in there now. It was really striking. There's another street where there's a curve, and it was just more curvier. So actually, it kind of altered the orientation of the street, the way that it curved. It's odd. And then on the street that's wider, I spotted a new house there, a new home, an old home. It's an older area. So nothing really distinguishing about this home, except that I've lived here all my life and I never saw it. Well, I was born here. I did live in Missouri for quite a while, but live back here now again. And I lived over in the Neosho, Joplin area, where they had all those tornadoes, and that was right after I left. So I don't know. So the NPCs are weird. These people that do have souls but don't seem to be in possession of their souls, and that's the clearest way that I can explain it. And if they're not in possession of their souls, then they're being they have to follow instructions. They don't have any free will, and that's why they seem like NPCs. They're given a a script, and it's not a robot script. Like, it doesn't come from their brain. It's somebody else instructed them on how to deal with us, and that's the plainest way that I could think of to say it, without being like super scary or anything. I don't want to scare anybody, but yeah, I think some people are given instructions on how to deal with that, how to deal with us. And that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong or something totally different, of course. I always have an open mind. I welcome other opinions. I know I'm going to say some things, especially in the future videos, that might be controversial to a couple people. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to let you guys know that, you know, I'm never stuck in an ideology, and I'm never stuck in a theory. So, like evolution or whatever, global warming, those are just theories, and you can believe in them, or, you know, whatever, but don't get stuck in a theory, I guess. I always try to keep an open mind and not get stuck, because if you get new evidence, you're going to have to change your theory. So, there's that, and that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I have more, but I guess I've gone on a while, so I just want to say I love you guys very much. God bless you. I'm praying for all of us. And take it easy. Bye now.